My name is Ruth Steele. I've been in the industry for many years, over 25 years, and through that time I've sort of worked hard and done really well. I'm the brokerage manager of Certis Insurance Brokers. I'm currently an IBANZ board member as well as an IBANZ College board member. I'm not sure if it's so much a difference between male and female, but it's about your own skills and what you can bring to your role, whether it's in a administration role or a more senior role. And I don't know if there's anything that we necessarily do differently, but I myself am very, very highly task orientated, and I try and squeeze a lot into a short period of time, and maybe that's something that women have, which is a unique quality, that they are multitaskers. They can do a whole lot of things all at once, so we squeeze a whole lot into a short amount of time. And I think we do this quite naturally, you know. Also something that I think we do well is we break things down into manageable segments so that we can actually not be overwhelmed by a situation, that we can actually take it section by section to actually manage and figure out, you know, ways to resolve or work around the issue. I think really being very organised, I suppose that goes back to being task orientated. You know, being very organised makes a huge difference to my day, and being able to reorganise throughout the day as the need arises. So I think men have those qualities too, but those are the ones that I see sort of as my skills that I bring to my role. Absolutely, yeah, definitely. Many years ago I was in a junior role as a broker, probably a broker assistant role, and the difficulties with that was, back in those days, it was very male dominated, and I had no bosses, I had no colleagues that were actually females, and everybody around me were males. And you know, I hate to say it, but it's still today a boys' club in some respects, and back then even more so. So we had to work so much harder to prove ourselves, to show that we were actually just as good as these boys. And that was difficult, yeah, very difficult. And you know, some of the challenges we faced were attitudes towards, you know, who we were. And I remember having lots of battles with the likes of assessors, for example, who were more senior or older, or you know, I was in my early 20s, and if I was talking to somebody who was in their 50s or 60s, that was a really big gap. And you know, you had to actually, you know, bark at them to get them to listen and to actually get your point of view across and actually do your job for your client. So that was a really big hurdle.
Wow, I can imagine that.
Yeah. A lot of male chauvinism, which is not so evident today. It happens, but not as much as it did back then. And you know, it's great to see it's changing. And today, a lot of my colleagues in the insurance industry or insurance companies, assessors, lots of different areas of insurance have a lot of women. So it's really great that we're, you know, not so scarce in these sort of levels, at these levels. Invite them. Just talk to them, invite them, get them on site. Naturally, there would have to be a process where those people were screened, because you need to have a good fit. You know, you can't just have someone who's going to be a pushover or someone who's going to be too headstrong. You know, you want someone who can be, you know, able to put their opinion across without sort of getting too emotive about it, to be able to listen and take on board what other people have to say. So I suppose really it's not so much about what businesses can do to get them on board, it's about the selection process and actually look and find those women who have the skills that work well with the board that they're being invited onto, but just to actually invite them onto the board. Yeah, definitely. From time to time, not all the time. When you've got a big project on the go and it's busy, you know you've got your family life, your personal life, waiting, and it's hard to do that balancing of the two. I think really it's a matter of just good communication with all parties, and actually to make sure you stop. A lot of the time we just keep going, and if you're like me and task orientated, I find it very difficult to stop mid-task and actually go, you know what, I've got to go home, I've been here for 12 hours, I need a rest, I need to go home. It's about self-discipline, making sure that even if you start work at 7 o'clock in the morning, that you make sure you get out at a reasonable time, set that time to actually stop and say, right, that's it, my day is finished, and have that balance. I think you need a balance of work and play, as well as your home life, with your family, and being disciplined to actually do that and make sure that you take time out for yourself. They need to find someone that is going through what they've going through, or have been through what they've been through, to give them some guidelines to actually speak up and ask for help. Don't just struggle along and find that you're just going to absolutely burn out by the end of it, because burnout is such a big thing in this industry, whether you're a male or female. And it's about seeking help, speak up, and don't just do your 12, 14-hour days, week after week. It's just too much pressure. So find someone, talk to other women in the industry if you, don't feel comfortable talking to, say, your management, who are predominantly males. But speak up.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.
Very well.